Yeah, but that's not my point of view. As a man, that's not going to be my point of view. I have to earn for my family because that's what I'm taught. And she's like, no, you're chauvinistic. I'm like, but how is that chauvinistic? Your brother and your father think the same way. I felt कि heroism है इसमें और हर इंसान में heroism होता है. वो heroism आप लेके कैसे आते हो? वो एक चीज़ है. So I didn't want to play Cuckoo as a loser because I don't believe it's a loser character. I mean, there's some great, we have some great directors in that genre. My father makes amazing ones. Anis sir makes amazing ones. Indu ji makes amazing ones. I personally don't take October as a failure. Okay. Because it's made in a very
limited
budget. Yeah, so it's fine. I'm not charging the fee I'm charging on October that I'm charging in, in Bhediya or my forthcoming film. It's much lesser. There is something. There are 2-3 things in the pipeline for that, or doing a full-out mass action film, and hopefully next year you all should see me in that. There is more stuff also which will happen. I'm just not overcrowding it, Himesh, because every day we are learning something new about the box office, and about people wanting to go to cinema. So,
hi guys, this is Himesh and welcome to Pinkvilla. Today we have with us Cuckoo, that is Varun Dhawan. Welcome to Pinkvilla.
Thank you, Himesh. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Actually, this is the first interview I'm doing post the release. So.
And congratulations, like you have performed phenomenal in the film. So
thank you. I mean, the idea was that I do something in this comic family genre where I can do it a little differently than the ones I've done before.
And that is visible with all the
thank you so much.
Undertones of emotions in the film. Varun, Jug Jugg is actually a 15th film. If you look at all the 15 films you have done, which would be the most special one and which would be your most difficult?
Very tricky question to say which would be the most special one. Obviously, the films that you do early on in your career, the hunger and the drive and the craziness around them is something else only in itself. But sometimes films come along. Jug Jugg was a challenging film, I'll be honest with you. Pandemic was on. The character, how Raj wanted me to play it, he wanted control, which I didn't want to give so much, but he wanted control. But yet, I think a lot of humor has got created with the awkwardness of the character in a lot of scenes. And then that scene between me and Kiara in the bedroom, that scene was a tricky one. That was such a tricky scene to do because we till date didn't know how that scene was. And now whoever we meet, they're talking about that as a very standout scene in the film. So very, very happy about that on an acting point of view at least.
Actually, that was one of my questions. That particular scene, the kind of emotion you have over there, the rawness and everything, it's not something we have seen before. Even in a Humpty or a Badri, it is not that raw.
Correct.
How was it to pull it off? And what were the discussions with Kiara like before that? Because you were having a blast on the set and then comes this intense...
So me and Kiara actually got into 2-3 fights before we shot that scene. Genuinely, because we were discussing the scene. And she was like, I'll say this. And I was like, yeah, but that's not my point of view. As a man, that's not going to be my point of view. I have to earn for my family because that's what I'm taught. And she's like, no, you're chauvinistic. I'm like, but how is that chauvinistic? Your brother and your father think the same way. So why am I a chauvinist if I feel I need to earn for my family? Because that's what I'm taught by my parents in childhood. So हम लोग के 2-3 बहुत झगड़े होते थे वो उसे लेके, and eventually Raj would step in. We did a lot of readings for that scene. We did a lot of research. We saw stuff. She would keep sending some material. I would send material to her, and we discussed that scene a lot. I think that's one very prepared scene we've done.
And if we look at your character, it is far off from being a quintessential hero because it is, your character is basically, it's like giving a bichara vibe. It's like,
yet,
kya ho raha hai isko? But yet there is a redemption towards
exactly, and yet I didn't want to play him as a loser. It's very easy to say this guy is a loser. Yeah, heroism नहीं है. मेरे को लगता है हर character में heroism है. उसे खींच के निकालना पड़ता है. तो कुकू का यही हीरोइज्म ना कि वो माँ के लिए लड़ता है, वो फैमिली को एक साथ देखना चाहता है, वो बीवी को वापस how he gets her or whatever. So I felt कि heroism है इसमें और हर इंसान में हीरोइज्म होता है. वो हीरोइज्म आप लेके कैसे आते हो, वो एक चीज़ है. सो आई डिडंट want to play Cuckoo as a loser because I don't believe it's a loser character.
Yeah, of course it's not because there is a redemption arc towards the end and self-realization. But
that's why he's a bit aggressive. He was never. I don't think Raj wrote Cuckoo so aggressive. But as we shot the film, I said यार कोई भी react करेगा ये होगा तो react ही करेगा ना इंसान. But what we did is we made the aggressiveness funny.
Yes.
कि वो भड़कता है तो there were people laughing also even in lot of scenes where I didn't imagine people to laugh.
Actually, there's one scene where you go to meet Anil Kapoor sir in the second half.
Yeah.
That's actually a very intense moment of the film.
Yeah, but people are smiling and finding it funny.
Yes. You didn't expect this reaction for sure.
No, it's the situation. See, किसी और का problem आपको funny लगेगा. You know, Himesh, there's a very funny incident. I have a video I'm not going to name the person obviously, but there's this boy who I met in my gym, and he went through a very similar situation like this.
Okay.
Obviously, he's not married, but basically his father was having an affair, which he found out first about. And he told some people, obviously he shared it with some people, and I was in the same gym, so I heard about it. Now, I wanted to almost interview him, because I said, ki yaar ye, matlab, see, you're laughing. But I also found it funny till I spoke to him and I understood it's very uncomfortable for a son to know that his father is having an affair with someone else. It's funny for a third person. But the funny part was this, that he saw the phone and he straight away at some party which they had, he went and exposed the whole matter in the party. मतलब उसके मामा वामा आए थे घर पे, उसने बोला देखो फोन पे पापा का चल रहा है चक्कर. This actually happened in someone's real life. And then after that the mother only slapped him in the party. बोला कि यार ये कोई बोलने वाली बात है पब्लिक में कि तू सबको बता रहा है. मैं बोल रहा हूँ बोलने वाली बात है पब्लिक और मैं बोल रहा हूँ, बट किसी कोई जानता नहीं है कौन है ये इंसान.
And you know, Varun, over the last few weeks, like ever since the trailer has been out, there was a controversy going around the script and everything. I believe the verdict has just come out. What was your...
There was nothing, because, you know, in the sense that, you know, these things sometimes happen. Obviously, if something like that has happened, we as artists will never support that. You know, Anil sir is working from so many years, he's not going to do that. I will never do that. We'll always take the side. If someone is right, we will. But in this matter, I think when the script was read by the director Raj, there was no similarity at all. There's zero similarity is what Raj told us, and then after that, whatever case happened, there's no injunction on the release. So, but I think what needs to happen is that sometimes stories, if you feel it's similar, it's very important to know the intent, if someone has robbed a story or not robbed a story or what has happened. But this has become a very big trend nowadays with Hindi films, you know, or with any films, that, you know, just before the release something will happen and all that stuff. So it's damaging. I hope like Dharma as a production of Viacom, as a studio, they do the needful to, you know, make sure that these things don't happen in the future for no reason.
True.
You know, because this story is actually given to us by Anurag Singh, who's directed Kesari, and he's directed so many Punjabi films, produced so many Punjabi films. He gave the story to Raj.
Okay, and that's how the process started.
Yeah, the story of two couples getting divorced simultaneously. I've not seen any story like that, nor have I heard of any story like that. Honestly, I haven't. So I don't know.
I don't think there is a film on the actually, that's one of the biggest USP of the film, that it is so original that you don't know what is going to happen with the couple.
Exactly.
So, as an actor, I know there is no formula for success, but you are an audience as well. What do you think is exciting people to visit the cinema hall?
Something exciting, something they've not seen before, but yet with a balance of massiness in it, like which can reach out to everyone. Basically, you have to have something of Indian culture in it. Something, you should have lots of Indian culture in it. The jokes should be what we joke around. It should not be jokes that are cracked in another country. It should be jokes that we share and we do. So Bhim's full character, all those WhatsApp jokes that he shares, those are jokes actually जो हमारे सर्कल में circulate होती है, जो कोई बाप बोलेगा अपने बच्चे को शायद और बच्चे को पीछे लगेगा. So luckily Raj kept it very desi in that sense, and that's why this film is massy enough. I feel that it can reach out to more people. It's not alienating.
Correct. You know, and David sir once said that चलती गाड़ी का bonnet कभी भी नहीं खोलना चाहिए. For you, when you introspect your career, what is that चलती गाड़ी for you as an actor?
मैंने तो खोला है bonnet 2-3 बार check करने के लिए engine, but I totally agree with him. What I love about doing films like that is the blessings you get from elders after the film. So when I went for one of these shows, outside all these aunties were coming and putting their hand on my head and literally in their minds or in their hearts saying Jug Jugg Jeeyo. That I wanted that during Main Tera Hero, and I wanted that during this film. I wanted blessings. And that's all it's about. It's about getting that love from the audience. That is why आप ये कर रहे हो, उसका प्यार अगर मिलेगा आपको लोगों से ना, that's above anything else. So genuine love, we are getting love. The box office I don't want to get into right now because that's
unpredictable.
Yeah, because it's there today, it's not there tomorrow, it's this, it's that, it's whatever. It's there. It's great. That is also there compared to how our year has been so far. So that's also great. All that is great. But I'm saying that mainly the love of the audience, because that word of mouth needs to multiply.
What is that genre which you can say कि ये मेरा comfort zone है, ये मेरे को, you know, ये मेरे को मालूम है कि ये genre में मेरी चलती गाड़ी है.
Masala comedy. Masala comedy. Yeah.
Okay. And you're looking to explore that sometime soon?
Soon. Yeah, I want to do.
Yeah.
I think I want to do one, but I'm waiting for a subject. There are some people who have spoken to, who want to make some. I mean, there's some great, we have some great directors in that genre. My father makes amazing ones. Anis sir makes amazing ones. Induji makes amazing ones. And from the younger lot, I think Raj is superb. Shashank, obviously, me and Eve had very successful 2 outings. So yeah, no, I'll definitely be doing more comedies. Want to get in some action in it as well. So yeah, but we need to open them up now.
Yeah. And if you look at your career, of the 15 films, 10 have been successful.
Yeah.
In fact, your first 9 films were like success, 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 and
Which were the 5 which are not successful? Let's count.
Kalank.
Yeah.
You have an Easter egg of Kalank in this one. How comfortable were you that?
I am very comfortable with it. I found it very funny. There was an entire joke on it which then Raj removed. I find it funny. So, see, Kalank, the thing is that it just became a thing to make. It's not a film that really lost money in that sense. I mean, if you ask Fox also, it's still fine. Like, they ended up, because of whatever streaming and rights and all, it's all okay. That film is remembered for that song now, Main Tera.
The title track.
Yeah, so on May 13th, वो गाना viral हो जाता है रोज. I get so many memes, मैं तेरा, मैं तेरा, मैं तेरा, मैं तेरा. So I find that funny. तो जिस चीज़ की बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रोलिंग होती है या जिस चीज़ को बहुत ज़्यादा प्यार भी मिलता है, मतलब आप कुछ कर रहे हो जो आप people are waking up to.
Notice हो रहा है basically. No, so my question is, success and failure, how do you tackle it as an actor? Like, do you introspect your failures, or what's your this thing?
No, I don't really. Because see, introspect में you can know बुरा film क्या है, अच्छा film क्या है. That you need to know. So I know that Kalank and Street Dancer were not the best films. They didn't turn out to be the best films, but I still something I keep getting from them. So I got Main Tera and First Class from Kalank, from Street Dancer. So a host of songs and kids who enjoy it on wherever they see it, and that film didn't lose money. So I don't know how to justify. I don't want to justify it, but it didn't end up losing money. It didn't end up making the amount we wanted, but it didn't end up losing money for anyone. And besides that, I don't know which other film to actually call that didn't work. Like, I personally don't take October as a failure. Okay. Because it's made in a very
limited
budget, so it's fine. I'm not charging the fee I'm charging on October that I'm charging in, in Bhediya or my forthcoming film. It's much lesser.
Correct. And actually, I don't know how every question is getting connected. That was actually one of my next questions. In today's time, there's so much discussions happening around how the dynamics of film should be in terms of budgets, actor fees. What do you prefer? How is your...
my take on this? I think most of the money
should, as an actor,
see, I think most of the money should go into making the film. And that's what happened with Jug Jugg Jeeyo, you know. Most of the money went into making the film and to keep the film, because it's a family film, that's the genre, it was very safely made. We wanted to keep it very safe, and plus the pandemic was on during that time, so it was made very comfortably in that sense. I mean, now because there's so many rights, you're in safety sometimes, you're not spending that much. But because we want to make larger scale, like Bhediya is a very large scale film. Dinu is putting in a lot of money on the VFX. We've got MPC from Hollywood to do VFX on this film. So that's a big film now. A big film and the money will go in. So I can do, he can say it if you ask him, but I'll put in my own money to make sure that film is right. Because I just feel that's the way now we need to make films now. We need to try and create something bigger, larger.
And that will excite the audience.
100%.
And there are a lot of people who want to see you in an out-and-out action film. You come from that school also.
Fully. There is something. There are 2-3 things in the pipeline for that, of doing a full-out mass action film. And hopefully next year you all should see me in that.
Action. Okay. And last couple of questions. Your next 2 films which are announced, are Bhediya and Bawaal.
Correct.
I know you can't speak much, but thoda can you tell us about the world of the film?
Bhediya, I can say that we shot extensively in Zero, and it's a crazy character. I don't think anyone has played a character like that, and once in a lifetime opportunity for me to get it right under the guidance of Amar Kaushik, he's from day one till now, he's only on that film. Every day checking VFX, checking stuff, making sure nobody makes fun of things. He wants to get it so right. And worked with Kriti on that, and Abhishek Banerjee, and one very special debutant boy is going to be in that film from Northeast. He's a brilliant actor, and very exciting film. Then there's obviously Bawaal with Nitish Tiwari sir, and that one I'm enjoying. In fact, I'm going to go leave for that shooting after this. I'm loving shooting with Nitish sir. He is he's so good for actors. मतलब वो इतना आपको कैसे निकालते हैं काम उनको ही पता है. He's too good.
Correct. So those are the two confirmed.
Those are the two. So I'm chasing big good directors, hopefully, who are good, and yeah.
That should have your lineup in place, basically.
Yeah, and there is more stuff also which will happen. I'm just not overcrowding it, Himesh, because every day we are learning something new about the box office, and about people wanting to go to cinema. So.
And lastly, what's your take on OTT?
Love it.
And you follow all the shows and everything. You think stars coming on OTT as a series, do you think it has any sort of impact on the big screen का format because they are available?
No, not really. Depends आप क्या कर रहे हो और कितना break ले रहे हो उसके बीच में. आप अपने आप को कितना exclusive कर रहे हो. And how prime are you keeping yourself? Depends on that.
Okay, and last words on everyone who watched Jug Jugg Jeeyo.
Thank you so much for the love. There's a lot of immense faith that you have shown for the film, and mainly I always say that go in for the film. आपको फिल्म मुझे लग रही है कि अच्छी फिल्म बनी है. हिमेश को तो लगी ही. मुझे genuinely लगा कि एक अच्छी फिल्म आई है मेरी ये बहुत टाइम के बाद, क्योंकि पैंडेमिक था बीच में, and I'm back in cinemas with this good film. So please go watch it and give us all the love because it'll entertain you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Varun, and wish you all the best
Thank
for
you, Himesh.
Jug Jugg Jeeyo performance and all the upcoming
Thank you,
films.
buddy.
Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Varun Dhawan and you're watching me on Pinkvilla's YouTube channel. And if you like this video, like, share and subscribe to the icon below. Ding.